Greetings, traveler, and welcome to another one of my speed builds. For today, our travels bring us to Nordhaven, and we're building an office building for a company. And my idea here is that it's a converted warehouse that's been transformed into this office space, and you can see I put also a live edit warehouse next to the real building. So my idea here is that the actual building on the left is where the office employees work, and then they have another warehouse where they do all the production work and the actual woodworking, because in my head this is like a interior and fit out company. So over at the left is where all the office work is done, the designing and the stuff, and then on the right is where they actually build all their furniture and all the material that they need for their fit out projects. And that's basically like how I saw it in my head. But of course, in terms of gameplay purposes, you can do whatever you want with this lot, and you can use it as any kind of company or, office building, or even like a shared co-working space, maybe. So I did save this as a custom venue, which is a type of lot that came with The Sims 4 Adventure Awaits. And you can kind of play with the scheduling system and roles and stuff to actually make this function as an office space. Where your Sims can come and do some work on the computers, maybe give workshops or like whatever you can think of. You can even assign roles for cleaners and maybe a cook even to stay in the kitchen, or even a barista for the coffee bar, sorry. And if I sound very hoarse today, I'm sorry, but I'm sick, I'm still sick. I've been sick for a few days now, and my voice is still recovering, so sorry about that. So yeah, that's what we're checking out in today's video. Other than that, there's not much to say about this exterior. I did use a custom parking lot from the gallery because I was too busy to make the lines and stuff. So I just searched parking lot in the rooms category on the gallery and downloaded something custom, and I just copied the room over and placed some live edit cars in it. And I guess that's it really, so I'm gonna see you again in the interior to continue the voiceover. And now we start with the interior of the build, which is where all the fun and interesting stuff begins, in my opinion. You saw the facade at the front where I used this blue color, and I just kind of wanted to create a visual identity and some brand guidelines, let's say, for this company and their office. So it begins with the entrance where you see that blue color, and then you enter into this reception area and welcoming desk where you'd have the receptionist sitting and doing her job. And then I kind of played a little bit with the brand language of this company, whatever this is. They have a lot of materials that they're incorporating in their design. And I did take some inspiration for this like whole build but also for the interior design from the own industry that I'm in, which is events and exhibitions. So I've been working a lot with like understanding clients' brand guidelines and visual identities, and then translating those to actual exhibition stand designs. And it's a very fun process. And while I'm not an actual designer myself, but I do have some kind of creative input to a degree in my job, and I do like monitor the whole process overall and make sure that the client will be happy with their visual representation and brand representation. So I do know a thing or two about like getting creative. Anywho, this company here is a interior and fit out company, so it's in the let's say design and creative industry. So it's very important for it to have a nice modern, let's say, visual language. I used white marble with some dark wood tones, and then this main, let's say, a blue color. Not sure what the specific shade is, but you can see me use it all throughout the build. But there are also a few other Pantones of blue that are being used, and then there is also a little bit of black and gray. So that's like the overall color palette and design language of this company and its brand. The style is a bit of contemporary, modern, and then just a touch of industrial. I didn't want to go overboard with the industrial here, just a touch of it to reference that it's an actual converted warehouse. But yeah, that's the design language of this office. And then in terms of the actual areas that I added to this building, other than the reception area, welcome area, and like this little lounge seating where you'd have your guests at the company, we have a little foosball table for the employees when they want to take a break and have fun. And then there is the little cafe area here and a small room for the kitchen. So like if your employees want to take their lunch break here, they can even cook or heat something in the microwave and eat it inside the kitchen, because I put a small dining table with 2 chairs. And then I added 4 bathrooms to the ground floor, and they're genderless in The Sims because I didn't use like gender specific doors, but you can change that if you want to. And then I just kind of copied and pasted the same bathroom over. And it's the same exact bathroom upstairs, but I added 3 bathrooms instead of 4. And I think that's actually a lot of bathrooms in terms of The Sims, not IRL. So it should be more than enough if you're actually using this as a functioning office lot. And then this is like the open co-working space where you have all of the desks for the employees, and then some, let's say, creative brainstorming spaces or tables. So this is where the employees have their actual workstations. I used this table from the Soho set from Felixandre. And then as dividers, I use this metal panel, which is from the industrial set by Tuds. It's actually a restaurant set, but it really came in handy here. So these dividers are where the employees can hang their notes and stuff, and a few more personalized items which you're gonna see in a bit. And then I alternated between actual PCs and laptops because I felt that it's more realistic that way. And then to each employee, I added a few personal touches just to make it feel more, lived in, let's say, quote unquote, or like worked in. So each employee has like their little trinkets, little flowers. They have their notepads and pencil cases. They even have like coffee and food. And I just think it's a very nice and cute touch. Here on the first floor, we have 2 meeting rooms, and then I just put a whiteboard in one of them in case your Sims would like to give a class or a workshop or something. And I make them look a little more realistic by adding some details like cups of coffee, notepads, and then there's like this little catering station in each room with some cupcakes and cake and water and coffee. So yeah, it looks like it's just ready and prepared for meetings to happen at any second. And then there is a TV also in each meeting room, which is like, I mean, IRL would be for presentations, but since that's not a thing in The Sims, like your Sims can just use them for entertainment. And then outside that, we just have a few working tables, and I added printers to the ground and first floor just for a touch of realism, but they don't actually function. And then I added the media production station, I think it's called, from Get Famous. So that would be the content creator for the company. But yeah, in The Sims you can add a role for a media producer, and they can just sit here at the desk and do their work from there. And then there's just a few tables, maybe desks for more employees. There's this little lounge area, and that PC is actually a television, so your Sims can also watch TV there. And other than that, we have the 2 bathrooms that I mentioned earlier, and then just the CEO or the boss's office in the corner. And I guess that's actually pretty much it for today's video. It's a nice short one, and I really enjoyed making this build and working on it. It was so fun, and I just love to imagine and envision an office space myself, how I would design it and how I would like it to be. I mean, it's actually really tempting to work in, if you ask me. So yeah, that's it for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. As usual, all of the details that you need to download this build are in the description, so just head over to there. You're gonna find a link to my Patreon, where you're gonna find all the tray files and the CC links. And I love you guys so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye!